What is up, traders? Today I'm going to be covering a trade that I took on AU. It was a really clean trade. It only took about, I think, 12 minutes for the whole trade to complete. I only traded for a total of 1 hour today. I mean, looking at the charts in general. So that was really nice. I'll be doing a top-down analysis. So I'll be starting on the daily charts, then explain the tendencies I see on the 15-minute, and then talk about my entry itself, which you can see on screen right now. So this was my analysis for the day, which I basically dropped in the Discord server as well. If you're interested in joining a Discord server with a lot of like-minded traders who all trade ICT or SMC concepts, it's really nice there. We also have quite a bit of profitable traders who actually proven their profitability to me. So it's definitely worth to check it out if you're interested. The link for it will be in the description. So if we take a look at what happened here on the daily chart, we can see that right here on the Monday of 23 of Jan, we actually left behind a fair value gap, which we decided to mitigate on the 31st of January, leaving behind the buy side liquidity. After rejecting that fair value gap really strongly on the 31st, we then went up to take buy side liquidity. We then continued back up, leaving behind more buy side liquidity. And then on the 3rd of February, we actually had a really strong move down, which resulted in the sell side liquidity here being taken, a tap into the fair value gap that we left behind right here from the 6th of January. And as we can see, we then left behind a big fair value gap from the 3rd and the 4th of January, which we were kind of tapping into, but also strongly rejecting the last few days. So my first idea was that these lows would be going for the internal sell side liquidity. Unfortunately, we took that out already in London. So then my next logical target would be this sell side liquidity, this internal sell side liquidity, and also the sell side liquidity that resides here from the 6th of February, and a possible mitigation, a complete rebalancing of this fair value gap for then us to proceed long or pull further back into that fair value gap. But obviously we could go either direction here. My tendency was bearish because it had the most confluences compared to just one fair value gap, and for our sell side having multiple sell side liquidity targets as well as a fair value gap. So I always go with the side that has the most probability. But to be honest, price was kind of rangy, so I was not planning on targeting any of these external levels. I was more looking at internal sell side liquidity to target. So I wasn't planning on taking any home run trades today. All right, let's actually jump down to the 15 minutes. And what we can see here is that right here in London, we actually took out a bunch of liquidity. We also took out a fair value gap or rebalanced it before then rejecting that. So I was thinking that this high, this order block that we left behind was probably going to be respected. Other than that, what we can see here is another fair value gap, which I was definitely looking at. The move that I was anticipating was something like this, for us to take out the Asian lows potentially, but I would definitely not be targeting that without taking any partials first. I then jumped down to the 1 minute, and I noticed that right here we were actually starting to create some kind of range. Let me mark it out for you. I noticed these relative equal highs. We had a lower one right here, and then another high that we starting to form right here. So I was kind of interested in seeing that being taken out. We also had relative equal lows that we could be targeting. So this could be a perfect play on the internal liquidity. What we could of course also see happening is a move like this. But since we had this fair value gap left behind, these are multiple fair value gaps, but I just draw them out as one for now. I expected that we could likely see something like this. So us probably ranging around for a little bit. As you can see, I expected some equal highs to be created for us to then create some equal lows to trap some traders into positions to generate some liquidity for the banks, for us to then mitigate a fair value gap, take the liquidity on the bottom, and for us then to possibly shoot up to the fair value gap that we have left from the 15 minutes. So that was the general idea for the day. That was what I was focusing on. And if any of this is unclear to you, feel free to hit me up in the Discord server. I will be answering your questions there. And if I don't get back to you immediately, I'm sure someone else will, because we have a lot of really smart and clever people in there. All right, so let's actually play price forward here. The New York session is about to start. And as we can see, we actually have 3 equal highs right now. So it's a really interesting target to actually sweep, because a lot of people will probably be taking shorts here if they are trying to play resistance and support. At this point, we basically sweep those people out of their positions. I then noticed that we actually had a market structure shift. So the tendency of price actually moving back down. So then I was looking for a fair value gap to enter from. And as we can see, what fair value gap did we reject? We rejected this fair value gap right here. So I was thinking that if we were to go back to this fair value gap, that I would go short. And if we also take a look, what do you have right here? You have an order block. So that order block would actually help me to set my stop loss, set a logical stop loss right here. So at this point, I basically set my pending order, and the pending order itself looked something like this. So a nice 4.5 R trade potentially. Let's see what happened. Price decided to come back, actually fill my position at a really beautiful pace. We then respected fair value gap and started shooting down again. I didn't decide to take any partials because at first I was thinking of taking some partials right over here, because we could as well be satisfied with the liquidity that was resting below this low. Since the momentum that I noticed in the market, I was thinking that we would easily make that target, and I closed my full position at my take profit level. And that was the trade. That was it. It's simple as that. And then right after we took out that liquidity from the range, we actually started moving back up. And as you can see, we actually mitigated that 15-minute level before then having the tendency to shoot back down again. Let's actually see where price is at right now. Seems like we are disrespecting the order block and moving back into the bigger picture of the 15-minute here. So I'm really happy that I managed to take this position. It could be that my bias for the day was actually wrong, but still I managed to profit from the bias that I initially had and profit from the internal range liquidity. If you have any questions about this trade, just hit me up on Discord or leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to see more trades like this, you can always check out my channel or do a subscribe so you get notified when I bring out more videos like this one. Cool guys, catch you later. Bye bye.